the average income for each age group, y'all. Hey, we talking about money again. I love to, we got to start with the basics, but this is going to let y'all know where you stand at in this money game. Like what percentile you are for your age group. Because, the median is what it is. Where's the median for our age group? A lot of us is young. We're going to see what the median is for all these other age groups as well. But in this video, George is going to come. He's with the Dave Ramsey team. I enjoyed George's videos. They always, they kind of fun. They're upbeat. They keep you interested. But he's going to talk about the income level, the average income level in the percentiles of each income level. So are you on the 25th percentile, 50th, 75, 99% percentile? So you see where you're at. He's also going to give a couple tips on what to do as you're in these percentiles and as you make more money, what you need to be doing with your money so that you can continue to see your money grow. You feel me? Because that's what we need to be focusing on, y'all. Getting to this bag, making some generational wealth so that we can actually make change in this world. Because as y'all seen what happened, man, we need to get our money up so that we can actually have some real influence in this world. Because obviously, just our voice is not strong enough. Your voice isn't strong enough in this world. You got to actually have something to present. And we need to be able to present this money, get this generational wealth going, change our situation. So let's go ahead and see what George has to say. Average income by age and what to do with it. Let's get it.
Your greatest wealth building tool is not winning the lottery or hoping your rich uncle with no legitimate heirs meets an untimely death. No, it's not happening. Your greatest wealth building tool is your income. From working and stuff. And I know some of you don't think you make enough right now to do things like save up an emergency fund or invest or buy a house. But as the saying goes, it's not the size of your paycheck that matters, it's how you use it.
No one says that.
And that's why today we're looking at America's average income by age and talking about how you can use your greatest wealth building tool to its fullest potential. And speaking of potential, this YouTube channel has the potential to hit 500,000 subscribers this year. And it would mean the world if you would be one of them. So hit the subscribe button for more content like this, and while you're at it, hit the like button too. Okay, let's take a look at the average individual income in America by age. On average, 25-year-olds are making about $48,000 a year, 35-year-olds are making about $73,000, and our 45, 55, and 65-year-olds are raking in about $82,000 a year. Now
Oh no, he hit numbers real quick.
45, 55, and 65-year-olds are raking in about $82,000.
All right, y'all, this is just the average. This is your average. Average doesn't even mean all the time in the middle, To me, average doesn't always mean in the middle. Because you got your outliers, you feel me? They definitely skew that line both ways or whichever way. But this is your average income for 25-year-olds. I'm around that age. The average, I like to say around 50. 50, that's your average. For 35, you got to be more at 75 to be on the average. 45, 50, 65, you got to be at about 85. So where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on average? If you feel like letting me know, let me know. Let me know. I'm going to just say I'm a little bit older than my age if we talking about average. If you feel me. We got to keep working, y'all. Keep working on getting it up. Keep working on getting it up. This is the average, though. It does not mean in the middle. This is what average people make. Now, at 25, I personally think being at around 50 is a great starting point. That's a great starting point. But you have to do things, have to make some sacrifices with that money. You gotta budget, and you gotta make strategic money moves at this age, because at 25 is where your money has a lot of time to grow. That way, by the time you're 45, 55, 65, you'll be above average. You'll be above average in those age. Let's keep this thing moving.
$2,000 a year. Now, the obvious trend I want to point out here is that your income usually increases as your career progresses and then levels off near retirement. Now, some people think this means they can't or shouldn't do things like invest in their 401k until they've ascended a few rungs on the old corporate ladder. But that logic crumbles like a gluten-free muffin when you realize that time is one of the essential ingredients in building wealth. So your goal is to start investing ASAP. But there's two prerequisites here. Number one, all of your consumer debt is paid off, and two, you've got an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. All right, we clear on that? Capiche? Roll Tide. Now, when you saw those income averages, you may have thought they felt a little off. Averages can sometimes be misleading since they include every single data point, from the devastatingly low to the unrealistically high. So let's use a little thing called percentiles to break down all this income data a little better. First up, the 25th percentile. What that means is 25% of the population makes less than this income, and 75% of the population makes more than this income. So 25-year-olds in the 25th percentile are making about $25,000 per year, 35-year-olds make about $30,000 a year, 45-year-olds make $32,000, 55-year-olds bring in $33,000, and finally 65-year-olds make $35,000.
All right, y'all see these numbers. Take it down. If you get your age, if you're making this income, just know 75% of people make more money than you, which means there's a lot more money for you to make out there. It's a lot more money for you to make out there. For us at 25, you might have just got out of college. You might just now be finding yourself. Now, this is like, I can directly talk to the younger people because this is the age and the stage that I'm at is 25. That's my age. I'm 26, but that's the spot I'm in. Like he just said, you have time to get there. So as y'all see, at 25, if you make $25,000, that means that 75% of people in your age make more money than you. There's a lot more money to be made out there. So what do you need to be doing? You need to be making yourself more valuable. It's not too late at this point to go to college, to get a skill. You have to figure out a way to upgrade your value to society. Whether that's you selling stuff, going to college, getting you just can't go to college now. Let me get that right. You just can't go to college. You just can't go to college because I know some people at college making this amount as well. You cannot just go to college. You got to get a degree that is going to put you above the rest. It has to put you above the rest. Because you're in the 25th percentile and there's a lot more money that can be made. I mean, that could be told to even down the line. There's a lot more money that can be made out there. A lot more. I don't even think at the 25th percentile, it's a struggle at that point. It is a struggle. Especially at 25, I feel like, 25 is a great time to see how much money you're making and try to get it right. Because you have so much time left before, it's like, all right, come on. Let's continue the video, though.
Now, if you're in this camp, don't panic. And whatever you do, don't income shame yourself. All right, I hate to go full Brene Brown on you, but how much you make and data about how much everyone else makes does not define your self-worth. In fact, you are priceless. You are made in the image of God, and that's all that matters. And I believe that. Now, the thing I want to highlight here is that if your income is on par with these numbers and your household has no other income, then everything you make is probably going toward essential expenses right now, like housing, transportation, food, clothing, and keeping up with your minimum debt payments if you have them. In this situation, that's the right move. You gotta survive before you can thrive.
I'm sorry, I got lost in a train of thought of just all that goodness I just heard.
But your next best step is figuring out how to create some margin in your budget so that you can put a little money toward your future each month instead of needing your entire paycheck just to get through this week. Now, obviously, you can't cut a whole bunch of expenses here since everything is going toward the essentials, so that means we've got to find a way to boost the other side, your income. I know, revolutionary life hacks here. So maybe it's time to consider a side hustle, even if it's temporary, while you get your career off the ground or pay off a pesky car loan. Maybe it's time to ask about a growth plan at your current job. Or you could try shopping around for a new job entirely. Just promise me that you'll have an income-boosting brainstorm and get yourself some margin, because this one is a tough place to be. All right.
Like I said, now that the 25th percentile, you have to figure out how to make more money. That's the number one thing that you need to be doing if you're at if you're in the 25th percentile. Figure out how to make more money. Side gigs. Even though they say getting jobs is definitely hard right now, you gotta go out and you gotta hustle. This is it. Especially if you're 25. You need to have so much hustle in you. It is ridiculous. Ain't no sitting back relaxing. You need to be getting to it. You working pretty much all the time. Start getting to that bag. Get creative. Get creative as all get out so you can get to that money. That's the biggest thing at the 25th percentile that you need to be thinking about. How am I gonna get some more money so that I can just, let this stuff off? Because all of your expenses are literally to living at that point.
And moving on to the 50th percentile. Now, for all my math nerds, this is also known as the median, which means 50% of people make more, 50% make less. So for the 50th percentile, 25-year-olds, $40,000, 35-year-olds, $53,000, 45-year-olds, it's $55,000, 55-year-olds, $62,000, and finally, for the 65-year-olds in the 50th percentile, $60,000.
All right, we made it to the halfway mark. Half your peers make more than you. Half your peers make less than you. At 25, it's 40. It's 40. I think a lot of people I know are about at 40. So that's a good spot to be in. That's a good spot to be in. You're a little bit more comfortable. You still not splurging all out, but it's a comfortable spot to be in. You can actually start, I feel like, putting money towards your future at 40. At 40, depending on the sacrifices that you make in life. So I feel like the median is exactly where you have to start making some sacrifices in order to see your money, your net worth grow. Sacrifices like maybe staying at home. Sacrifices like maybe skipping out on a vacation and saying no. A sacrifice is maybe creating a budget so that you know where your money is going in and out of, so that you know where you can save at. That's definitely some important things that you could be doing at the 50th percentile at 25.
Now, don't underestimate this percentile just because it's mid. All right, you don't have to make six figures to crush your major financial goals like paying off debt, saving for a rainy day, or building wealth for retirement. In fact, a nationwide study of millionaires with more than 10,000 participants found that 2 of the top 5 careers among these net worth millionaires were teachers and accountants. And here's another encouraging stat from that study. 1 out of 3 millionaires never had a 6-figure household income. And teachers, I gotta say, you deserve better. And accountants, I feel like you're doing fine. You don't need encouragement.
What did we ever do to you?
The point is, you can build significant wealth at this median income level. And it starts by recognizing that you do have margin. How can I know? How can I tell? Because you're probably spending money on non-essentials like Starbucks runs and viral Amazon buys. So if you want to make faster progress toward your money goals, your best next step is to comb through that budget and look for places to cut expenses. Where can you spare a few dollars to make it rain on your financial future? Now, if you don't already have a budget, make one.
Right, exactly. Like I said, this is the spot where if you start making little sacrifices, you can really see it stack up. Like he said, with teachers, the number one thing with teachers is that they understand, okay, I've picked a career that I'm not going to make a lot of money in. Because of that, they are very strategic with how they use their money. That's one thing about teachers. They are very strategic about how they use their money. They have budgets. They're paying off the debt that they have on the side, They're actually following simple money principles that help them along the way, like 10% to their sales. things like that. And you're not going to see them going to, like you said, Starbucks every single day. It's not going to happen. It's not in their budget. They very meticulous with their money. And a lot of teachers are very successful in life. We all know that teachers, they should get paid more. Yes, let's say that in theory, but the taxpayers, middle class, us as middle class people, that means we would have to pay more in taxes too. So when we say pay the teachers more, that means we need to increase our taxes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying on the side, Yes, pay them more, but please don't increase my taxes at the same time. Anyway. At the 50th percentile, you have a lot of room and you are doing better than a lot of people. 50% to be exact. So it should be a very grateful position to be in.
I promise, you'll feel like you've moved up a few income percentiles as soon as you do this. Plus, it's really easy with the EveryDollar budgeting app. You can get started for free by going to everydollar.com/George or click the link in the description below. Okay, next up.
And I do want to shamelessly plug EveryDollar app, y'all. I got it, and at first I wasn't rocking with it, but the more and more I use it, it knows my habits. It's starting to mark things for me. I enjoy using that EveryDollar app. It was worth it. I paid $80. If they would have had a thing for me to use, I would have plugged it to y'all, but I don't, and I'm going to still shamelessly plug it because since I got it, it's helped me. And I told y'all I haven't had that budget for like 3 months. I've had the EveryDollar app for like a month now. But before that, in that little 3 months period when Mint shut down, I didn't have one. I didn't have one at all. But now I've been using this EveryDollar app. Like I said, I'm about a month in. And it's starting to learn. Like this go in this category, that go in that category. The automatic stuff that I loved about Mint, it's inside of that EveryDollar app. I can see where my money's going. And like he said, when you have a budget, you feel like you just saved $3 anyway. Because you like, holy snap, I've been spending this money on this all this time. Like, let me cut that on out. I ain't even been using it. Helps out. Shameless plug. Go get y'all that EveryDollar app. Automate your budgeting. It works.
We've got the 75th percentile, meaning 75% of people make less and 25% of people make more than this. So the 25-year-olds at this level are bringing in about $57,000. 35-year-olds, about $85,000. 45-year-olds are at $95,000. And our 55 and 65-year-old friends are hovering around $100,000.
Now, y'all know at this 75th percentile, you need to be doing a little bit more than just budgeting and setting stuff over to the side. You need to be doing some investments too now. You need to see, the problem is at this 75th percentile, a lot of y'all living paycheck to paycheck because y'all going to increase how you live depending on how much money you make. That's the secret. It ain't no secret. That's your downfall. You in the 75th percentile, but you done increased your spending on what you spend. You living this way, you splurging that way. Then now you living paycheck to paycheck, and you actually making, I ain't gonna say you living better. You making more money than 75% of people at your age. Come on. Stop inflating your life. Y'all see how bad inflation is, right? But you just go on and inflate your life like it's like it's an everyday thing. Let me go inflate my life. It doesn't matter. At this age, at this percentile, you definitely should be putting into your 401k, Roth, or whatever, especially if your company has a match. 1,000% doing that if they have a match. Other than that, you should be building on your emergency fund if you have that. If that's something that you want to do, you should be getting out of debt for sure at 25. Like, think about if you're out of debt at 25. Like, come on. All praise more to you for that. Become more financially responsible at 25. That way at 65, when you retire, you don't have to go back to Walmart. And again, you're making more money than 75% of people at your age. You are very blessed at that point. So now you need to be smarter with your financial decisions, because you are blessed to be more fortunate than 75% of people at your age, at 25. Even at 35. Even at 35, you are more blessed than 75% of people at your age. Let's see what George got to say, y'all. Let's see what he got to say.
Now, if you're in this percentile, that budget margin should be getting nice and spacious, so it's time to start dreaming bigger. I mean, why not max out that 401k? Why not pay off that mortgage? I promise that if you pick one financial goal and you stay focused, your progress will be so inspiring, you'll never have to listen to Stronger by Kelly Clarkson again. You'll only listen to it, like I do, for fun. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Love Kelly. Kelly, have me on your show if you're watching. Great show. Big fan.
No, it's a no for me, dog.
Now, if you're not sure which financial goal to tackle first, I highly recommend using the same financial game plan that took me from a negative net worth to a net worth millionaire. It lays out a clear path for building wealth and prioritizes everything into 7 simple steps. And if you want more info, click the link in the description below. Okay, last but not least, the 90th percentile income earners, or as some people call them, Enneagram 3s, aka the high achievers, which makes me think of online bank Laurel Road, one of the sponsors of today's video. If you want to achieve a high interest rate for your savings, be sure to check out their high yield savings account. They're offering 5.15% APY right now. And with a rate like that compounding your cash stash, you'll be enjoying your own Overachievers High in no time. All without sacrificing a single drop of blood, sweat, or tears, which is how I prefer it. Plus, their accounts have no minimum balance, no monthly maintenance fees, and you can rest easy knowing your deposits are FDIC insured. So if you want your savings to work as hard as you do, go to laurelroad.com/George or click the link in the description to get started. Equally as impressive is Delete Me, another sponsor of today's video. Think of them as the Dawn dish soap and clean up your data mess before they save you time and spare you the fraud. So help protect of their plans by going to joindeleteme.com/George, link in the description. All right, back to the moment you've been waiting for, the 90th percentile income, folks. The 25-year-olds in this group make about $82,000. 35-year-olds make $135,000. 45-year-olds bring in $150,000. 55-year-olds make $163,000. And at 65, we're looking at a whopping $157,000.
Woo! Y'all see them numbers? You are definitely blessed.
And at 65, we're looking at a whopping $100.
You are blessed if you made it here. Very blessed if you made it here. And I pray that you are doing the right thing. But I know that a lot of people not, because folks out here living paycheck to paycheck at this stage. You are in the 90th percentile. You are doing better than 90% of your peers. And you are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I just don't understand. At this point, you have got to do better. All that stuff that George mentioned, you should be doing automatically, off the muscle. But the problem is, at this stage for sure, you feel like you got all the money in the world. You can just spend it. And now you look at you, paycheck to paycheck. That is not how you want to live. That's not how you want to live. It's not fun. You over leveraged. Like too over leveraged at that point. I would hate to be at the 90th percentile and be worried about how I'm going to pay my bills. I want to say that again. I would hate to be in the 90th percentile and be worried about how I'm going to pay my bills. Or is this car that I got going to get repoed? Or is the house I got going to get foreclosed on? Because I done stacked up on so much debt that now that's about to get repoed. Shoot. You got credit cards at this stage too. I know you do. Paying 25% on it. I would hate that in general. Just because you think you can pay for it. Come on. At this point, at the 90th percentile, you have got to do better. You definitely should be saving money to the side or getting ready to invest in something, paying down debt like no other, getting yourself out of the situation that you are, planning for generational wealth. Because at 25, you have so much time. Like, think about you putting a little bit of money in the stock market and you just letting it sit. By the time you're 65, you'll be in the 90th percentile just cuz. Literally just cuz. If you're 25 in the 90th percentile, you have a duty to do better. You should be striving to do better. If you are 25 and in the 90th percentile, making $82,000 a year. You make more than most households make. So at that point, you have a duty. You've done something right. You're doing something right. But it can go so wrong so fast if you don't pay attention, if you don't do the right things with that money. Get out of some debt. Let some of the debt go. Stop picking up new debt. Consumer debt that you don't have to pick up. Start making some investments into the stock market. Start learning those things, you know? That way, in the future, you'll be at a point where you can actually give back. Make some change. Have a voice. Why? Because your money says something for you. That's it. Period. Let's see what George got to say. I'm going to go ahead and let George say some things and see how he feel about somebody in the 90th percentile.
$57,000. Now, if you're bringing home this much bacon, congratulations. That is a Ron Swanson amount of bacon.
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
But also, with great power comes great responsibility. And here's what I mean. If you're doing the right things with that income, your wealth building momentum will be off the charts. And momentum is the best feeling ever. Just look at those guys in the 1993 masterpiece Cool Runnings. They had momentum. But here's the problem. It's also really easy to let lifestyle creep slow you down and steal the incredible opportunity you have to set you and your family up for financial success. And I know you think you would never waste your income on creep of any variety, but the data says 45% of people earning over $100,000 annually are still living paycheck to paycheck. So how do you avoid that fate or turn things around if that's already you? Well, you gotta go back to the basics. You have to make and stick to a budget. Figure out where your money's been going and start giving every dollar a job again. Learn to live on less than you make, and as you make more, don't inflate your lifestyle much, and instead, use that extra income to build wealth and be more generous. Now, I hope you work your way up the percentile chart, not as a flex or comparison, but because I want you to live your best financial life with as much money margin as possible. Oh, and if you love seeing this income breakdown by age, then this video about how much you should have in your 401k by age will be a real treat. I'll link it.
Hey, y'all. Hey. George, I appreciate that video, because that just lets me know, where everybody's standing at. You know now where you stand at. I know where I stand at. And everybody in the higher percentiles on that list, just know, especially at 25, you know where you're at. You see you're doing better than a lot of people. I know at least my circle doing better than a lot of people. Got to stand down on that. You've got to step on that. Got to continue doing what's right, not let lifestyle creep in. Continue to follow the basic money principles now so that we can be more advanced, You got to start at the bottom. And being blessed to be in such a percentile, you have a duty to do more for your family, to do more for you. It's a great thing that you're there. You worked hard to get there. Now do what's right with that so that you can stay there and create more generational wealth for your family. That's what it's all about. And like he said, just get a budget. Just get a budget, y'all. Just get a budget. Just get a budget. Just get a budget. Starting line. Let's get to the starting line. Let's get to the starting line. Let's put our shoes on. Let's get up to that line. Let's put them cleats in so that we can get some traction and get moving. A lot of us not even at the starting line though. So find that starting line and get you a budget. That way you know the money you have coming in, the money you have going out, where your money's going, and so that you can have a direction for that money as well. you with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I think today was a great show, y'all. I enjoyed